New setup, who dis? Are we still saying that? New whatever, who dis? I am. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be controversial yet brave, like my bestie taught me. And I'm gonna say, new setup, who dis? It is I, Astrology. Well, really just Jay, but I'm back with another Astrology forecast. So today I want to talk about Venus conjunct the South Node in Virgo, and this is happening on October 4th at around 5:20 a.m. Eastern time zone at 18 degrees of Virgo. So if you have any planets or points around 15-ish to 21-ish of Virgo, this will be a little bit more potent, a little bit more palpable for you. But it is, for all of us, going to do something within our Virgo houses, but then also really impact whatever houses we have Taurus and Libra on, because that's the houses that Venus rules. Now, Venus meets with the South Node every year, but they haven't met together. They haven't had their little conjunction, their little kiss, their little cosmic smoochy in Virgo since 2007. So I think it's kind of a big deal. This transit is really activating and stirring up some shit in our charts that hasn't been activated in this way since 2007. However, Venus has been in Virgo since September 19th and will stay there until October 13th. So the themes that I'm going to chat about for this conjunction are kind of in play for that entire time while Venus shares space with the South Node in Virgo. It all just gets a little bit more intense, a little bit more palpable the closer that these two planetary bodies get. Gotta feel your body heat, 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 heat. Anyway, yeah, and of course, the South Node has also been stirring shit up, activating, agitating things, life, relationships, whatever, in our Virgo houses since January of this year. And in general, in a very sort of broad sense, that transit has been about releasing patterns around perfectionism, letting go of the need for things to be perfect, letting go of that control. The South Node has a clearing, cleansing, draining, depleting, diminishing kind of energy. And so in Virgo, that can lead to a diminishing understanding of the facts, a depletion of the data, a drain or a loss on specificity and detail. And because Virgo excels at understanding the minutia of life and, interactions and all that kind of thing, there's maybe an exhaustion around or a depletion of energy towards doing those things, thinking about those things, engaging with those things. And so the opportunity with the transit has been to let go of the need to have it all figured out all the time or at all, like to let go of the idea that there even is such a thing as perfection or perfect timing, or, that everything's going to align in this magical way. And that's when we'll do the thing, or that's when the relationship will be better, or whatever the case might be. And now with Venus in the mix, we turn that focus, that opportunity, that lesson towards Venusian things. So relationships and relational dynamics, beauty, pleasure, joy, art, creativity, expression, desire, hobbies, games, fun. And that's just Venus in general. It's also, as I said, going to affect the Taurus and Libra houses of our chart because that's what Venus rules. So to make this transit even more specific, take a look at where Taurus and Libra are in your own chart and then think like, okay, that also applies to then if it's second house, topics of money, or if it is fourth house, topics of your family or like even where you live, so on and so forth. And so with Venus meeting the South Node, we can think about letting go of this perfectionism in terms of relationships, in terms of creativity, in terms of the ways that we do find joy and pleasure in life. I mean, I don't know if you've ever experienced starting a new hobby, trying something new and thinking like, wait a second, why am I not amazing at this from minute one? Like, what's wrong with me? If you don't experience that, what's that like? Can you let me know? Asking for a friend. But it's like, damn, can't I just like be a beginner at something? I mean, can't I just like find joy in the space where I am learning and starting something fresh? Anyway, this surrender to non-perfectionism also applies to self-love and self-worth. Venus can also really speak to those themes in our lives. And so, can we find some level of acceptance in the idea, nay, the fact, that we are all works in progress, that we are just constantly working on ourselves and doing our best and putting our best foot forward. I mean, definitely some folks are not, but many of us are. The majority of us are. And being overly critical of ourselves and of others and of our creativity and of joy in general, I mean, even like just yucking other people's yums, I mean, it's just a waste of our breath. Everybody, please welcome Albert to the show. Well, you don't have to come in here and cough on me. Okay, sir? Excuse me, sir. You are, sir, you are acting belligerent and you need to go home. Okay, so it's not like we shouldn't hold each other and ourselves accountable for things. Like, it's not about just like being a pushover or saying like, needs and desires don't matter or responsibilities, whatever. Like, let's stop being so harsh on ourselves. No, I'm not saying that. I like, we should be accountable. We should uphold responsibilities, obligations, all of those things. But what I'm saying is, Albert is coming back into frame and there's nothing I can do about that. But the other thing that I'm saying is like, shit happens. Dogs walk onto your set. And really, I don't. Ow. Look, mistakes can be made, accidents can happen. We are human. Errors happen because we are human. And this is just being alive and this is part of the game. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, expectations are one thing. And I think that's what I mean when I say, like, let's not hold each other accountable. It's okay to have expectations, but are they realistic or are they unrealistic? Like, expecting a dog to just stay put. I think that's unrealistic. And so therefore I will not have that expectation. Truly, let's just give each other grace. Let's give ourselves some grace. Look, being messy is very, very real, and it's hard to be messy with other people. Shit, it's hard to admit to myself that I'm messy, and I'm willing to bet it's hard for others to admit to themselves that they're messy. And it's like, I'm constantly reminding myself that it is okay for not only me to be messy, but for other people to be messy, because again, we are all just trying our best. And I do kind of wonder if perfectionism, if this need for things to line up and flow in a way that is just so, right? To flow in just a certain way. This idea that people and relationships and art or creativity or whatever, that it has to look a certain way, that it has to sound a certain way, that it has to come across a certain way so that it'll be perceived a certain way. All of that is just a way of masking the mess, a way of controlling just how much of our vulnerabilities and flaws and insecurities are on display. And like, that's not to say that everyone in our lives get to see all of those vulnerabilities, all of those flaws, all of those insecurities, because not everybody is important enough for that. Like, we don't just have to be fully on display for everybody. And in letting go of some of these, quite frankly, arbitrary measures of what it would even mean to be perfect or to achieve some kind of perfection, I think that strips the mask away and allows us to be fully seen. Like, exactly how we are, not some curated version of ourselves. And that's kind of a big deal. That's kind of scary. Being seen can be terrifying. We risk rejection. We risk being misunderstood, being misperceived. We risk losing connection. But if the perfectionism was a mask, then was there ever any real connection to begin with? If the perfectionism was masking our ability to actually make a connection, to actually express ourselves in the way that we genuinely want to express ourselves, what are we actually losing? Like, if people aren't ever fully seeing us, can they ever fully like us? Can we ever fully connect with them anyway? But I think letting go of perfectionism seems like the much harder path than keeping all of those unrealistic and arbitrary expectations on ourselves and on others, because, the alternative, which is to dissolve all of those things, would create conditions for a level of intimacy that a lot of folks ain't ready for, that some folks don't even know how to engage with. And that's not necessarily their fault. We're not all taught intimacy. It's definitely something that most of us have to learn. And actually, Venus in Virgo in general is also kind of about seeing the beauty and finding some kind of peace or joy or pleasure in the imperfections of things, in the mess, in the mistakes, in all of the ways that we try but don't quite hit the mark. Because Venus in Virgo, it doesn't love being there. It's not the most ideal conditions for Venus to be in. And so, there again, we have this theme of being able to see the beauty, see something good, see something joyful or pleasurable in imperfections, in the mess, in the chaos, or whatever. I mean, it's like reality doesn't have a filter. Reality's kind of grungy. Look, I don't know. That's at least what I think. So take it or leave it, my guys. One other thing about a South Node transit. Sometimes a South Node transit will have us thinking like, why are you bringing up old shit? It's that stirring quality that both the nodes actually have. It's like when you have a puddle and you step in the puddle and it kind of agitates all the mud and dirt that's at the bottom, and it gets swirly and messy and obscure and opaque, and it just sort of brings things up to the surface that we might have thought like, did I not deal with that? Was that not, I didn't, okay, so all right, so I gotta go through that again. Okay, no, that's cool. And with the South Node, sometimes, and with Virgo too, I'm thinking that it is like some kind of old fear, some kind of old insecurity, some kind of old issue that we really thought we had faced, but there's still some lingering stuff there that we got to work through. And I wonder if working through that doesn't help to release some of that criticality. Criticality? Release some of that critical voice, that inner critic, that nitpicky, annoying, like, oh, you should do it like this. Oh, why didn't they do that? Oh, it should really look like this. What's the fear that's driving that? What's the insecurity that's telling that voice to say things? If we can bust through it, maybe we get rid of that voice, or we help to get rid of that voice, to quiet it, to soften it, to zip its lips just a little. Now, Mercury is the host planet for anything that's moving through Virgo because it rules over Virgo. So it's going to be overseeing this Venus South Node conjunction. And Mercury is currently in Libra, which is Venus's sign. So there is a nice little bit of teamwork happening between Mercury and Venus. They are working together on some level. It's not ideal because Virgo and Libra as signs do not see each other. So it would be better if they had some kind of sight and could like see facial expressions and that kind of thing. It's more like when you're sitting next to somebody, you can still like have that connection, have an influence, have an impact, but you can't quite see what they're up to. But still, it's quite nice. And Mercury being a planet of communication, being in Venus's sign, there's this added emphasis on relationships and relational dynamics and beauty and things that bring joy and pleasure. And there's going to be this theme of wanting to think about all of those things, of wanting to chat about those things, of wanting to communicate, of wanting to talk about those things, especially in ways that feel fair and equitable and joyful for anybody and everybody that is involved. And something I think that Virgo energy is already really good at is listening. I don't think that's the first thing that we always say when it comes to describing the energy of Virgo, but Virgo has this very discerning quality. It is very like, it's so good at specificity. It's so good at the details and the minutia of things. And I think that's kind of an extension of being able to listen to a person or a thing, or just like being able to understand the need of something. And so that act of listening, I think, is also a theme, a lesson, an opportunity, something we can think about in relationships with other people. Let's actively listen to what they're asking for. This is not a time for big grand gestures or doing the thing that you think like, oh, they're gonna like that for sure. No, hang on a second. What have they actually asked for? Let's do that thing. Let's not do the thing that we think they're gonna like. Let's do the thing that we know for sure. Like, they've said that. That is a direct need, a direct quote. Let's take that into account and let's show that we've been listening. And that goes for ourselves too. And I was talking earlier about like digging into those deep desires and actually hearing them, actually seeing them for what they are. What do we actually need? What are our pleasure centers actually asking us for? Can we give it? Can we give it to them? Okay, so, anyways, we're active listening. We are letting go of the critical voice, the nitpicking, the perfectionism, all of the things that actually prevent us from having a connection with other people, with ourselves, with our own joy and our own pleasure. We are letting go of that. We are embracing the mess. We are surrendering to the idea that life is messy. Life is messy. People are messy. There's no There's just no, this video is messy, and I'm going to surrender to that. It is what it is. Okay? Let's just give in to that. It's okay. And if there's a loss of details, a loss of understanding, a loss of facts, let's not try so hard to grip onto whatever might be there. Let's just go, okay, you know what? Right now I don't have all the details. One day I will, and it's okay. Right now I'm just going to be present in whatever this is and roll with it. And I'm going to stop talking before this turns into more of a mess because we have enough to deal with. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I am more than happy to clarify whatever mess I might have made here. Anyways, yes, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. You're all such beautiful, messy people. And I know I have a sign off. I know I do, and I forget it all the time. And I'm a work in progress, and I will be back soon with more astrology insights and other cosmic chit chat. But until then, I'll catch you in the cosmos. Albert, Albert, sit down, boo. Boo, you need to sit down. Albert, hey, boy. Hey, boy. Albert, you can call me out. Call me out. Hey, why would you lick the door? I mean, that's just, you know what? I'm going to reserve my judgment and my critical voice